Drew Holcomb, welcome to eTown. Glad you're here. You guys sound great.
Thank you very much.
Good new record, Medicine.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to know a little bit about your early days, and I wonder, just as a kid growing up in Memphis, do you kind of get a sense of what Memphis is as a musical place? Did you know about Sun Studios and Stax and all the history and the tradition?
Yeah, it's certainly one of those towns that the musical identity is a huge part of kind of the narrative you're told about the city as a kid. Especially it was all kind of before my day, the Elvis years, the Stax years, and even the Al Green, the high record years. But you definitely grow up hearing about it, and everybody has their Elvis stories, especially where like for instance, my dad's father's secretary was one of the people who got a free Cadillac. Just randomly, she was at the lot looking at Cadillacs.
Was it really a free Cadillac?
Yeah, really. Well, that's the like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know. That's the narrative. That everybody has a story of his eccentricity and generosity. And,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but like any kid in the 80s and early 90s, as much as you're defined by your geography, you're also just a radio kid, and so listen to as much U2 as I did Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. Now, I know your grandfather was involved in starting something called Young Life in Memphis in the 40s, and so I'm assuming there was church music and singing in church when you were little?
Absolutely. And actually, my mother, our alarm clock for school every day was my mom playing hymns on the piano. So she didn't sing very much. She had a tendency to change octaves all the time, so she just didn't sing very much. When it got too high for her, she would just drop down an octave, and there it was. And my grandfather loved to sing, but he was almost completely deaf by the time I could hear him sing.
Yeah, that makes it tough.
And so the church would be singing "Come Thou Fount," and it's like, "Come Thou Fount," and he's like a half step behind everybody. "Come Thou Fount," just real loud and totally interrupting, but it was really, really great. So yeah, that's certainly a part of my childhood. Especially
was there a thing in your family about this is church music and this is like devil music and you can't listen to that stuff, or was it?
No, not really. There was
I mean, I'm not making that up.
No,
that's a common experience.
Totally. Yeah, it's my dad, when he converted to Christianity as a teenager, he was kind of in more in that point of view, I guess, which was early 70s, where he had to break up his Led Zeppelin records. But then by the time I came around, he was like, "Man, I really wish I still had those Led Zeppelin records." So that wasn't really the point of view in my home, although I think they had come out of that point of view from earlier in their lives.
Well, tell me a little bit now as we kind of move forward. You spent some time in Scotland.
I did.
And so what did you learn there as either a songwriter or as a musician? What did that show you?
Yeah, so I went over there just for 6 months while I was a college student, and I was alone, but I wasn't lonely, so I figured I would take that time to took my guitar over there with me, and I'd been playing guitar since I was 14, but I'd never written anything. And in those college years, I got exposed to things like Patty Griffin and Ryan Adams, which then led me towards rabbit trails of Tom Waits and Springsteen and lots of other things, John Prine. So I started just dabbling with songwriting while I was living there. And, I lived in Edinburgh, and I had this view of Arthur's Seat, which is this basically like Edinburgh has its own mountain, you can climb right there in the middle of town. And so I had this kind of beautiful pastoral view out of my flat that was right in the middle of the city. And it was just, so I just kind of opened the window and start writing songs. And I was, studying history and literature, and it was a very kind of inspiring and exciting season. And so I had
there's an appreciation for language and words and poetry, and
absolutely.
So you absorbed that a little.
I did.
And then love and marriage in Nashville and a baby girl and Music City, USA. There's a whole other chapter, another flavor, set of influences.
Yeah, that's true. I actually kind of moved it to Nashville, kind of kicking and screaming, because Memphians kind of have a chip on our shoulder about Nashville because of the industry being there, and so I was like, I'm not moving to Nashville. That's where country people go,
What did you call your people from Memphis?
Memphians.
Memphians. Okay, I just want to make.
Yes. Any Memphians here?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I moved to Nashville for a girl who's now my wife of 9 years, and really fell in love with the town. They're such a cooperative and generous kind of spirit of musicians rooting for each other. And
Yeah. And you wound up in a
great.
great neighborhood. East Nashville's got a lot of musicians who care.
Yeah, it used to be affordable.
Yeah.
Lots of musicians, and now they're getting pushed out a little bit. But that's what happens when people hear about a good thing.
There is speaking of a good thing, there is a measurement of success if you live in Nashville, Tennessee, and it isn't playing on the Grand Ole Opry. It isn't, I don't know any bigger measure of success than not only playing the Ryman Auditorium, but selling out the Ryman Auditorium, which is something you guys did recently. Which must feel great in your hometown to play the Ryman and fill it up.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. If you don't know, it's this beautiful venue that used to host the Opry back in the middle of the 20th century. And I personally have seen, I think I counted up 34 shows there. Yeah. I've seen Dylan there. I've seen Tom Waits there. I've seen Chris Christopherson there. I've seen Patty Griffin there twice. The list goes on. And it was very surreal because basically you have all these heroes that you see in this room, and it's one of those rooms where you feel like the audience is right there on top of you, and it was incredible. And we just really hoped that we would have the presence of mind to enjoy the night, and we were able to, which was really really great. And you can't. People always ask me in the last few months as we've been leading up to that, is this like a dream come true? And I had to be honest and say, honestly, I didn't have the courage to dream this.
Yeah.
That
would be pretty
it's
audacious.
a big room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was certainly a milestone.
It's an amazing stage, too, because you walk out on that stage and you just feel the history. You can sort of sense where Hank Williams was standing when he was standing at the microphone, or Bill Monroe or Patsy Cline or all those people.
Yep.
And it's all still there. That vibe is still in that room. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah, it's unlike anything we've ever done.
Well, congratulations. I know that there's a million more things to talk about. I want to touch briefly on the fact that you're a guy, and I don't know whether it's your mother's hymns coursing through your DNA as you're growing up, but you were paying attention to ways in which you might make things better. And I know that there's a couple of different World Vision is something you're involved with, Bloodwater Mission, Soulsville Charter School. You're not just a musician who's worried about your career, but you're also thinking about ways that you can use music, it seems like, to help other people or help your community. Yeah.
That kind of came from my dad more than anybody. He's a successful businessman, but he's incredibly engaged in kind of the many moving parts that make a city take care of its least fortunate, and has taken that view kind of outside of just Memphis and has a kind of a global point of view. And my brother was a chicken farmer in Rwanda for 2 years. Did a deal there where he was trying to enhance protein for kids in a town called Musanze. And
not many people get to say that, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
My brother was a chicken farmer in Rwanda.
I know it is a great party starter. So it's something that we really just learned from folks in our family ahead of us who always kind of take the things that have been given to them and then return them. So
and now you have your own festival.
Yeah.
Down in Memphis, Moon River Festival. Is that a chance for you to kind of create your community, take all the pieces and parts and put it all together?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of a lot of different moving parts to that, but some of my favorites are, I think Memphis is kind of an undervalued place, and so I wanted to kind of invite our fans from all over the country to my hometown and try to kind of promote the city, because I believe it's a great place, and there's a lot of amazing things about it. And so that was a big part of it. And also wanted to have a place every year where I could invite bands and artists that we've known and gotten to know through our years of touring and playing festivals, and introduce them to our city and to our people. And like you said, the Soulsville Charter School, we try to figure out some ways to make it about some of the local music community. Soulsville Charter School is actually the old Stax recording studio, and now it's a music school, and lots of the kids who go there go on to music careers and go to college for music. And so, yeah, it's just a great way for us to take many of the things we love and care about and try to put them into a big soup and
raise a little dough to help. You offer a scholarship, right, at the
we did offer a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's awesome. All this stuff is great. I mean, it sounds almost trite how many things are going well. Your daughter is named Emmy Lou. Has she met Emmy Lou?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
We walked past her on an airplane once, but it was like just wasn't the right time. So.
You got another one on the way.
We got another one on the way.
All right. Life is good. Well, Drew, thank you for coming. Thanks for stopping by. It's great to hear you. Great to get to know you a little bit. The new CD is called Medicine, and we're going to hear a bunch more from that pile of songs.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for having me.
Let's get back to music. Welcome back, Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors.